Obamacare 2.0. Is that something that we should all be looking forward to? But if it's a federal law, and that individual mandate is there again, as the Biden administration has promised, what are your options? What are your choices? Well, there is a choice. I mentioned this earlier today when I came out on the stage. A health-sharing sort of healthcare system. What is health sharing, and why does it work?
Well, healthcare sharing is really just all of you getting together and taking care of one another. It's what we normally do whenever things that go wrong in our lives. We turn to our friends and family and our churches and community in times of need. Healthcare sharing just looks to take that model, make it effective, efficient, and put everybody in a system that effectively pays medical bills.
Caroline, Liberty Healthshare is a health-sharing ministry.
It is.
How does that function?
Well, it functions, the members all get together and make a donation each month that is set, and those funds go, we just facilitate the funds from member to member. And they get to choose, which is the vital thing here. They are free to choose to be in the health sharing program. And for example, it's very important for our members that their moral conscience is protected. And they care very much that none of their money goes towards any sort of abortion in any way. And they know that in a health sharing ministry, it's not going to happen. But they do take care of each other. And they love, you know, the members tell me they love having big insurance and big government out of their face. And they like to have their moral conscience protected, their rights protected.
So, I mean, this is not, it's not insurance governed by an insurance commissioner in some state, but it is a way where you get coverage for your health care needs.
Well, they share into their eligible health care needs. Yes, they do.
How does that work?
Well, Matt, you want me to take this, or your turn?
Go ahead. You're doing very well. I'll stop you when you don't. Yeah.
It works by, we look at the needs that we have. You know what, it's very much like passing the plate at church. This is how I like to describe it. We pass the plate, people give their donations, they can choose which level they want to be on, and at the end of the Sunday, we look at the plate and see how much money there is, and we look at the medical needs, and we dole out the money for those in need. And it's fascinating because a lot of times we actually have people, every year we have people, members, who will write an extra check. They'll just write a check for $5,000 and say, hey, it was a good year and I want to give back even more to the community that we're in. And sometimes it's more, whatever. I don't think you see that in insurance.
No.
I'm not sure you see that in the big government. So it's a really kindness. And we feel like this neighbor helping neighbor, these random acts of kindness, that we've been able to harness that and that spirit of goodwill and tackle this very vexing, complicated problem of healthcare as we know it today. It's working. We have over 1 million people, 1 million Americans are choosing health sharing plans.
You know, I love the compassion that's behind that, but I'm also practical. And can I count on how much this is going to cost me on a monthly basis?
Well, absolutely. Well, actually, we as a healthcare sharing ministry and other healthcare sharing ministries as well have just recently passed a $1.2 billion mark in terms of sharing medical bills. So it's going on right now. Everybody who's a part of this is sharing medical expenses and actually taking back freedom in their healthcare, because that's something that a lot of people don't realize is lost. Third-party insurance, big government, is demanding and is guiding and directing your healthcare and your healthcare dollars. And this is one of the last bastions of freedom that you can have in healthcare today, where you're making the decisions, you're choosing your doctor, go figure, and you're actually making the decisions in healthcare again. So this is a way that Americans all over the place can be a part of a community that is effectively taking care of medical bills and giving them back their freedom in healthcare.
Well, we have Peter Pitts here. Peter, I hope this doesn't rat you out, but you were an official at the Department of Health and Human Services in Washington, D.C. Explain to me the policy implications of this.
You know, healthcare is a very personal proposition. And when you start putting big government or big insurance or prescription benefit managers between a patient and their healthcare, between a patient and their doctor, bad things happen. You know, when doctors can't practice medicine the way they want to because a bureaucrat is telling them how to practice medicine, that's a bad thing. When the administrative state can, with the stroke of a pen, change the rules without telling anybody, that's a bad thing. People lose faith, regular sovereign individuals lose faith in the healthcare system. And then when they look at something like health sharing, they say, wow, this is the way it used to be. This is the way I remember healthcare, where we all took care of each other, where doctors weren't told how to practice medicine. They were rewarded for practicing medicine. Then good things begin to happen. My fear is under this administration, there's going to be more of a move towards Uncle Sam becoming Uncle Sam MD, as opposed to under the previous administration, government saying, you know what, we need to return healthcare to the people and healthcare practitioners. So that's the battle, and we've got to engage. If you don't let people know, if you don't let your elected representatives know that you don't like the way things are going, it's going to happen. So a lot of the onus of making things better is on us as citizens to make sure that our elected representatives understand what we want and what we don't want. And very few people want the government in charge of healthcare because one-size-fits-all healthcare doesn't really fit anybody all that well.
Well, look, I guess I think I'm understanding that there are two options here. One option is where an individual can make choices for themselves. And the other option is where the government is making choices for the individual.
Exactly right, and that's as true on the state level as it is on the federal level, but it's not all on government. Big insurance companies that give huge amounts of money to politicians like this. They get to take their cut right off the top by denying people
Who's
care.
that? Who doesn't like it?
Big insurance companies.
The big insurance companies.
Yeah, because you know they're embedded in the system. They're part of the problem. Health sharing doesn't retain money. They don't have stockholders. They don't have dividends. They're not looking to enrich themselves.
It's a not-for-profit.
It's a not-for-profit. Every dollar sent into health sharing for paying bills is spent on members of health sharing ministries. It's money in, money out, no overhead, no stockholders to approve. You know, it's just about getting the job done and having it done fairly, letting people go to whatever doctor they want to.
Now, and I'll add, with the freedom and with the choice comes personal responsibility, and they have skin in the game, and our members like that. So we do have members who, we attract a health-conscious crowd, and they truly do agree and uphold honor thy body, as in the Bible, as in the biblical terms. So we have a health track program that's extremely popular, but if someone is a smoker or overweight or high cholesterol, blood pressure, they can join with the indication that they have to be on health track for a while, and they have to graduate from health track within a year to stay within our community, and they do, and they love it. And it sets them on a path of a healthy lifestyle. And we've talked to so many members who feel like this has changed their lives. They're off their blood pressure medicine. They're off their, you know, they're down 50 pounds, and they're so grateful. And then they stay on that healthy road.
So you haven't actually said this to me, but I suspect that this is a cheaper option than your traditional private insurance option or Obamacare. Is that true or not true?
Well, it's interesting about healthcare sharing because what we have been able to do is unleash the most effective, most efficient cost containment measure in healthcare today, and that's the individual private pay patient. Who would have thought that the individual who is taking service is the one who's able to take care of their money in the best way possible? The third-party insurance system or the government, they are completely disaffected. And we're currently in a system with overbroad insurance that is managing, guiding, and directing those decisions and completely divorcing the patient from the actual cost of healthcare. We switch that around. And when you do that, when you put individuals in charge of their healthcare, prices go down.
Okay, so look, I just think I've learned two other very important points. If I could just have your attention. It's cheaper Matt Bellis, you're telling me.
One.
Caroline, you're telling me that you get better health outcomes.
We do.
Why would somebody not buy into this membership program?
It's a very faith-based decision to make, because so many people in this country have been inundated with the message that the only way to pay for health care is if they have an overarching, overreaching conglomerate of an insurance somewhere in Hartford, Connecticut, making the decisions for your health care and guiding that process. Health care has become expensive. And let's not make any kind of irrational statement. We have some of the best health care in the world right here in this country. The problem is how we price it and how we pay for it. And the issue that I see standing here is the government has been involved in our healthcare system for so long that they continuously break it over and over and over again with bills all the way back from the 1940s up to today, and then they come out and say, don't worry, we'll fix it this time.
You know, there's also a question of personal liberty and responsibility. Why does government not want health sharing to grow? Because government doesn't think that the individual is smart enough, is capable enough to make their own decisions. Only government knows what to do best. Health sharing has a completely opposite proposition, that the individual knows best for them.
Yeah. And in the words of Milton Friedman, I would love to meet these better angels who are going to order society for us, and we can't allow them to do that.
So I see a gentleman with a red hat over here that coincidentally a light is shining on his head, so I see the red hat very clearly. He probably understands, I'm guessing he understands his healthcare needs. Yeah, you. That's right. My guess is that he understands his healthcare needs a whole lot better than some faceless bureaucrat 2,000 miles away.
Right.
Who has no idea who this gentleman is or who this woman is, has no idea what their lifestyle is like, yet some guy in Washington, D.C. or in Hartford, Connecticut is going to determine what's best for them.
Right. Also, big government isn't interested in Dan getting better. They're interested in big government saving money. They're interested in creating a plan where the government saves money, not where the individual gets healthier.
And in this era...
That's an interesting point. The government wants to save money for itself, but doesn't want to save money for the person out there.
Right.
Right.
And isn't as concerned about that person's health outcome as its own financial outcome.
That's right.
And in this era of government intrusion into healthcare, the promise is always that they're going to make it better, they're going to increase the access and decrease the cost. But we have seen the history is crystal clear. Every time government gets involved in healthcare, we have decreased access, especially in terms of rural hospitals who are closing a lot, increased cost. Over the past 10 years, costs have risen by way of 20%. So we keep getting the exact result that the promise is. Government cannot make these things better. They can't make the pie larger. They can only redistribute the pie, they can only tax the pie, or they can only devalue the pie. And we're here to change that all the way around.
Well, this seems like sort of a no-brainer. But Caroline, we just have a little bit of time left. There are members of Liberty Healthshare.
Yes.
Where do those members all belong to the same church? Who are those members?
No, we have a vast array of members, and they know that we are run by our Christian principles, and they will be sharing into each other's medical bills accordingly, and our guidelines are very clear in that. But it's interesting because we have members, we are more affordable, quite a bit more affordable than traditional health insurance. But we have members who are affluent, who fly on private planes, lots of doctors, lots of veterinarians, I've talked to so many different Ivy League professors, all the way down to the very low-income single parent or a single person out of college trying to find their way. And I asked them, why, especially the ones who have their planes, why did you choose us? Or why did you choose health sharing? And they come up with the same answer. It's because I got here because I'm not stupid. I know what I'm doing, and that's how I accumulated my wealth. But I want to make my own decisions. I don't want government, again, back in my face. I want to do this myself, and then it goes back to the same old thing. It flows with their moral conscience, and they love being part of a community. They really are part of a community. It is a family. It feels like a family. And we have, a prayer box. You can pray for each other, and some people choose to do that. Some people don't, but it's feels good.
So people here could sign up for
good.
Liberty Healthshare.
Pardon?
People here could sign up for the coverage?
Absolutely.
I would actually say we've been here at CPAC as Liberty Healthshare for quite a number of years, and we just did the numbers. Some 400,000 people through CPAC have come through our program as well. So frankly, it's all of you who are making this possible. So thank you very much.
It is true.
All right. So if you don't want government intruding in your life, if you want better health outcomes, and you want it at a more affordable price, I think there's kind of a great option. I guess if you don't want to do things separately on your own, and if you like somebody taking care of you,
or if you want the government to take care of you and you think they do a great job doing it, health sharing is not for you. If you want to stick it to them, sign up for Liberty Healthshare.
we should leave it right there, but Caroline. Matt, do you have any final thoughts?
I just didn't know if we're paying Peter to say that or not. I just want to make sure.
I will say one thing. Well, we say we do attract and we encourage the healthy lifestyle. We have healthy members, and they live in a healthy way. We also know that disease, cancer, God forbid, heart transplants, these things come along in life. And they do in our ministry, and we are there to go the distance, and we have proven it over and over and over again. We've never had an eligible medical bill that ever went unpaid by the members. So we have done the transplants, and we have seen the children in the NICU for a long time, and we're there to take care of that too. So I don't want you just to think you have to be healthy, stay healthy to be in this. I mean, we know what life can throw you those curves, and that's why we're here for you.
Yeah. I'm just incredibly humbled, and I love being a part of a community like this, but frankly, let's make no bones about it. This is going to be a tough few years as it pertains to healthcare and people's freedom in it. And it's the people like here at CPAC, other organizations that are fighting for freedom in healthcare, who are making the decisions today that will lead the choice in the future. Because if we don't make those answers, government definitely will, and we can't have that.
Okay, well, my two final thoughts. If you don't want government in your face, if you want better health outcomes at a more affordable price, you should consider a health sharing ministry like Liberty Healthshare. The other thing, and I'm turning to all of you, we're going to see attacks against this kind of system from the federal government, maybe even at the state level. And we're going to need your help as activists to keep freedom alive, to keep these kind of choices available to you. Do I have your commitment to help in this? Well, all, thank you so much. I learned a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you, David.